Men and women don't get along because men are from Mars, women are from Venus. How do you expect them to get along? So I never read that book. I just read the title. I said, okay, I get it. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Okay, no wonder. They don't get along. It's not that they don't get along. They're not good for each other. Men are not good for women. The worst thing that happens to a woman is that there's a man in her life. And the worst thing that can happen to a man is if there's a woman in his life. It's terrible. So this couple come and they say, you know, we have a relationship, it's difficult, we're working on it, and we're going for therapy. Yeah, you've done that? Wait a minute. You're working on a relationship? You know what that means in simple English?
Break up.
You don't like each other. What do you mean you're working on it? It means you're not getting along. You don't like each other. For this, you go to therapy. If you don't like each other, say goodbye. And besides, a man and a woman not getting along, what's more normal than that? You don't need therapy. You're healthy. Now, if you find a man and a woman who do get along, they need therapy. Because something is not right. You know, either he's not really a man, or she's not really a woman. You know what's going on these days. So if you're not getting along, you're perfectly healthy. If you are getting along, I would worry. Men and women are not meant to get along. The old argument that teenagers, even younger than teenagers, should mix. They should date to get to know the opposite sex. Don't. You never will. You'll only get confused as to your sex. That's what's happening in the world. Men get to know women. They don't get to know men. They're not healthy men because half their brain is female. Because they got to know the opposite sex. Shouldn't do that. That's why God invented marriage. See, marriage is a magical thing. A man becomes a husband, and a woman becomes a wife. Now, they're inseparable. You can be a healthy man without a woman. You can't be a husband without a wife. So all of a sudden, you become indispensable to each other. The exact opposite of before. Now take a look at couples you know. Are they husband and wife? Or is it a man and a woman living in a house? Men today don't want to be husbands. And women don't want to be wives, even when they're married. So if they're still man and woman, of course they don't get along. Men and women never get along. The only cure is for the man to become a husband and for the woman to become a wife. So this woman is very upset with her husband. She drags him off to therapy. Because whenever they go out, he's flirting with the women. Making her crazy. The therapist explains to her that she has nothing to be upset about. Flirting with women doesn't mean he doesn't love you anymore, doesn't mean he's going to divorce you. It's just a man thing. A man in front of women, he's got to show off a little. Just a man thing. The wife, the woman says, that's exactly the problem that I'm complaining about. I need a husband, he's just a man. He's doing the man thing. That's not the husband thing. A husband doesn't have to show off. So he never became my husband. I'm living alone. And on a serious note, loneliness is the biggest plague of today's generation. We are the most social, we are the most outgoing, the most traveled, the most exposed, and the loneliest. We feel alone in the world. even when we're married. That can't be. It's devastating. A person who feels alone in the world, their immune system fails. You become vulnerable to every illness, particularly depression. So why is it you can be married, happily married, and still feel alone? Because you're just a man and a woman who happen to share a house. You haven't become husband and wife, which means you haven't become one with each other. This is the secret. I'm going to get right to the punchline. The purpose of marriage is to become one, not to help each other, not to make each other happy, whatever that means. It's to become one so that you're never alone again. Why is that? Because God said it is not good to be alone, therefore get married. The only solution to not being alone is marriage. Because no matter how much you love your parents and they love you, you're not one with them. Because they have each other. So maybe you're number 3, you're not number 1. And with your own children, you're not one. The only way that you can become one is with marriage, a man and a woman. And that's because male and female are supposed to be one. Right? Adam was created male and female. That was his first original nature. To be a man or a woman is not a complete human being. A complete human being is one being that is male and female. So God separates Adam and Chava and then tells them to get married so that they can be one. But they were one. Here's the secret. Adam and Chava were one, back to back, like two sides of a coin. On one side was Adam, the other side was Chava. So how were they connected? Like Siamese twins, back to back. They never saw each other. So they were inseparable, technically, but they never saw each other. It was not romantic. Like Siamese twins, there's no romance between them. By separating them and then telling them to become one through marriage, now the oneness is going to be face to face. And that's why intimacy between a husband and a wife, or in any circumstances, intimacy is only if it's face to face. If it's not face to face, it's not intimate. So let me tell you where we're making a mistake and what's ruining our healthy marriages. There are two things that are destroying us and destroying marriage. Two things. The first is love. Love destroys marriages. A man says to a woman, I love you for your money, and I want to marry you for your money. Is there anything wrong with that?
Yes.
Well, she has money. And he loves money. Not a good shidduch?
No.
Why not?
Based on something.
Conditional.
Condition.
It's conditional. Because if she loses the money, there's no relationship whatsoever. So it's, first of all, it's dishonest. I love you for your money. I don't love you at all. I just love the money. I want to marry you for the money. I don't want to marry you. But you're not going to give me the money unless I marry you. So I have to marry you, but I don't want to. I just want the money. Can you just give me the money? We'll both be so happy. So it's insulting. It's impersonal. It's abusive, actually. I'm using you to get to the money. That's abuse. But tell me why love is any better than that. I want to marry you for love. That's not a condition. It's a bigger condition than money. So a man says, I love you, you love me, we should get married and share our love. So they get married. And the first day of their marriage, the wife says, you know, I think we should do something different. And he says, hey, I married you for love, not for your opinion. So keep your opinion to yourself and let's just continue the love. The woman says, I'm in a really bad mood today, I don't want to go out. Hey, I didn't marry you for your moods, just the love, please. In other words, I don't want you, I just want your love. So my first book that came out in 1990 is called Doesn't Anyone Blush Anymore? And it's about relationships. But that's not the title that I wanted. I wanted the book to be called Shut Up, I Love You. Because that tells it all. What's wrong with marriages today is we get married for love. If you get married for love, I love you. So shut up. What do you want? Something other than love? Hey, that was not the deal. You want me to be patient? No. You want me to be understanding? No. You want me to be helpful? I didn't sign up for that. I signed up for the love. And that's why if the love disappears, we're not related. I never married you. I married the love. Love is selfish. Love is what I feel. I can love you with all my heart, with all my soul, with all my might, and you don't even know. Because it's my emotion. How would you know? So it's totally selfish. When I don't love you, you don't exist at all. Who are you? Who needs you? It's terrible. It's also very arrogant. When I love you, you're the most beautiful, the most important person in the world. But I stop loving you, so now you're nothing. You're garbage. Isn't that arrogant? You're important if I love you? This is really bad news. Total Hollywood fantasy. Marriage is never the product of love. So this couple, a little bit hippies, they came to me a couple of years ago, and they said, we're very much in love, we want to get married. Will you do the wedding for us? I said, you're in love? They said, yeah. I said, well then it's too late, you can't get married. Because the reason you're marrying is for love, well, you already have it. Why ruin it with a marriage? And this is true. You're marrying for love, and you're marrying someone you already love. What do you need it for? You know what the second thing is that is destroying marriages? Sex. Sex destroys marriages. Because sex separates people. Instead of making you one, it makes you separate from each other. Just like love is selfish, personal, sex is very selfish. How can something as selfish as sex bring two people together? Makes no sense. And the proof is, a husband and wife are intimate, and afterwards he says to her, how was it? You see how horrible that is? First of all, how was who? No, how was it? There was no it. It was me. You just had sex with me. Who's the it? How was it? Who let an it into the room? And secondly, you're asking me how it was? Weren't you there? Where were you? You were in your own universe, Mars, and she was in Venus, and now you got to ask each other, what happened to you? It's a horrible thing. And it started in the 60s. In the 60s, people felt that the importance and the heaviness and the fear of intimacy is unnecessary. What makes such a big deal about it? Have a little sex, it's fun. What is your problem? Free love. What does free mean? No intimacy, no commitment, no attachment, no worries, just fun. Well, if you're having fun, you're not becoming one. Or like somebody wrote a book about safe sex, and his basic point was, if it's safe, it's not sex. It's soup. Soup is safe. Sex is never supposed to be safe. It's supposed to be awesome. What happened? So the sex has become without intimacy. Love is selfish. What happened to the marriage? What makes us married to each other? Intimacy means I can put all things aside, everything, and just connect to you. Sex is a thing. It's not you. Love is a thing. It's not you. Money is a thing. It's not you. To be intimate, at least for a moment, you have to move yourself past all things. So according to Jewish law, a husband and wife are not allowed to be intimate while wearing any clothes. Why? No thing between you. Get everything out of the way so that it's just the two of you. And that's why it has to be in the dark. Because if the lights are on, you're going to see things. Not good. There should be no music, no sound, no noises, nothing. Because you're going to hear something kills the intimacy. There should be no talking at the moment of intimacy. Why? Because what are you talking about? Something. Get all things out of the way. A bedroom is a no-thing zone. That's why if you ask your grandmother, what happens in the bedroom? What did your grandmother say? Nothing. You say, come on, tell me. I'm 48. You know, that's all I really need to know. And your grandmother says, nothing. It's the right answer. A bedroom? No thing. What happens in a bedroom? Oh, there's no what. Who is in the bedroom? He and she. They're not things. And they're not doing something. They are merging with each other. There are no things. Listen to how healthy that would be. The way things are today, when a husband and wife are intimate, they're doing something. Now, how good are you at this thing? Some are better, some are worse, some are great, some are not. It's a thing. So when you're doing your thing, it's a performance. So you become self-conscious. Am I good at it? A guy walks over to me at some event, this was a couple of years ago. He walks over to me, he looks at me and he says, can I ask you a question? Do you sleep with the beard under the blanket or with the beard on top? Very fun. I couldn't sleep for 2 weeks. I'm serious. Like, all of a sudden I was like, yeah, how do you do this? So you try it under, and like, try it over. For 2 weeks, I couldn't sleep. What happened? I became self-conscious about it. It was never a problem before. But when you make an issue, make a thing out of it, all of a sudden, you're self-conscious. You want to ruin a good marriage? It is so easy. Today, walk over to a husband and say, between me and you, the sex with your wife is good. That's it, you've killed him. Yeah? What? I think it's good. Oh no, maybe not. And then he goes into the supermarket and there's a magazine there that says 14 secrets to better sex. He says, oh my God, I don't know 14 things about it. That's it, you've killed him. Now he is so self-conscious. So he finally figures out the 14 secrets, and he got, okay, now it's good. The next month, the magazine says 25 ways to improve. Oh God, like, I'm such a loser. It's a horrible thing when you become conscious of something when you should just be melting into each other. It's not a performance. It's not an Olympic event. It's not exercises. It's just two people who are so bonded with each other that nothing comes between them. So how do two people become one? It's not what you do, it's what you eliminate. If you get everything out of the way, you will naturally become one, because male and female really are one. Forget this Mars and Venus business. You're never so natural as when you are one with a spouse. How do you get to be one? Just get everything out of the way. Don't turn each other into an object, that's pornography, and don't make intimacy into a thing. That way, every time husband and wife are together, it's perfect and it's wonderful and it's great and it doesn't matter. If you enjoyed this conversation or this topic and you're looking for more information, or you want to hear it again from another angle, there's a way to do that. And that is in this book. It's all there. Order it from Amazon. You can read it, reread it, and share it. We have a Sunday night program for VIPs that you might be interested in. It's informal, it's questions and answers, it's conversation. It's really relaxed, it's really pleasant, enjoyable, informative, and kind of community-like. It's a Sunday night program. There's a Wednesday morning program for the VIPs, and there's a Wednesday night program. All of it just conversation, casual, laid back, unscripted. So join us, take a look, click the link below and see which of the three suits you best, and join us for some enjoyable conversation.